It's Andrew, welcome back to the channel. So guys, in my shorts you would have seen me talk about positive behaviour support, behaviours of concern. And guys, positive behaviour support is something that we don't talk about often enough. So it is the first step in redirecting someone with difficult and challenging behaviours or behaviours of concern. Now guys, you're probably thinking, what the hell are you on about? So guys, let's unpack the difference between difficult and challenging behaviours and behaviours of concern. And guys, as always, I'm talking from a disability perspective, so drop it in the comments if you're a mental health practitioner, support worker, childcare worker, or even the parent doing gentle parenting, what your definitions are. And so difficult and challenging behaviours, anyone can have them. That's defiance at doing chores, that's weaponised incompetence, that's over-caffeinating yourself, that's willful ignoring someone that's talking to you, general disrespect. That's challenging behaviour. It also might be very unintentional, it might not be intentional, it might be someone's frustrated at you so they snap, it might be they were listening to the TV so they didn't hear the instructions, it might be that they just simply forgot. So they're difficult and challenging behaviours. We all have them. We all have done the bedtime revenge procrastination. We've all just said one more episode on Netflix or whatever streaming service. We've all said, oh, no dessert for me, and proceeded to eat the dessert. All difficult and challenging behaviours. Then we go on to what are behaviours of concern. So behaviours of concern, especially in the disability context, are behaviours that would seem concerning to others. For hitting, kicking, spitting, biting, acting out, being violent to others, being violent towards staff, being violent towards yourself, even self-harm activities, so that be cutting, biting, scratching, refusing to bathe, refusing to eat, refusing to take medication, declining medical care, declining to keep your home or living areas that you are responsible to at the standard. Some of those N1s do cross over into behaviours, difficult and challenging behaviours, but they are still behaviours of concern. And so this is where positive behaviour support comes in, of rewarding the person for what they are doing right instead of punishing them for what they're doing wrong. So they get used to that positive attention rather than the negative attention, and seeking out that negative attention because that's the only attention they may get from a support worker, parent, childcare worker, or caregiver. And so it redirects their attention that where their needs are being met, their basic needs of food, water, clothing, shelter, attention are being met, but their wants aren't being met if they're not doing the right thing. And so, guys, it's generally used in line with restrictive practices and has definitely got to be written by a disability, trauma-informed, positive behaviour support practitioner that is licensed and registered with the NDIA. So, guys, that's where there is a shortage of positive behaviour support practitioners as well, because behaviour is a form of communication. I know Deb and I have discussed that, but behaviour is a form of communication. And if someone is not getting their needs met, so that's food, water, shelter, clothing, and attention, and then if you're capable of consent romantic relationships, you're going to act out. So you're going to act out for attention. You might refuse to eat or drink, so you need to get taken to the doctors. The doctor's then giving you attention. You might have ways of showing displeasure at the housemates without raising it as an adult manner. So guys, these are all where positive behaviour support and in some cases restrictive practices come in. And restrictive practices have to be reported if they're being used. And there is a very specific flowchart that you can find over on the NDIA, the Commission, so the Quality and Safeguards Commission website. There's an actual flowchart that every time a restrictive practice is used, the support worker on the shift has to fill out that form of was de-escalation strategies used? Was it reasonable for that person? Was it in line with their positive behaviour support plan? Had there been anything that led up to them using the restrictive practice? And was the restrictive practice used appropriately and harm and trauma minimised? Because using restrictive practices can cause trauma. You're even using positive behaviour support without trauma-informed care is not a good idea. And so, guys, trauma-informed care in disability is very new field, but we're realizing that being disabled, and especially a disabled adult who might have a later diagnosis, and I'm not talking about self-diagnosis, I'm talking about shelling out the money and the time for a proper diagnostic process. If you're self-diagnosing, please go and get a proper diagnosis, because if you start treating one thing and it's actually another, it can not only be harmful for you, it can be harmful for the whole community if you start using words associated with that disability or neurodivergence without knowing the context and the history behind them. So guys, positive behaviour support and restrictive practices are what keep both clients and support workers, and even sometimes parents and family, safe. So I'm talking about things like that in a normal house would be considered common sense. Locking knives and sharp objects away, having medication out of reach of children, having medication when, where and how it was taken recorded. Some things that are disability specific is recording the medications you've took, but that's a good idea anyway. Recording what a person has eaten and drunk, recording the person's mood and behaviours, recording if the person has been out of the house, has had visitors or phone calls that day, and if that person has disclosed anything of harm, about thoughts of harming themselves or thoughts of harming others. That might be as simple as yelling at another person, because that can be harmful. So guys, this is a very short one. There is a deep dive one coming soon on this topic. And guys, I am doing over on the media channel disability and media tropes, especially with the very unexpected backlash from Doctor Who having well-rounded disabled characters. I can understand those who, due to their values of Doctor Who being bought out by Disney, not wanting to watch it, but for those who are able to put that aside and enjoy it as its content, why are we getting upset at a unit member having a weaponized wheelchair and complaining about, when time is of the essence, there being stairs in the way and her having to be carried up those stairs? It is something that happens every day in real life, that people can't access buildings because of stairs, or the very badly thought out of disability accommodations. So that could be ramps being at the wrong angle, it could be portable ramps, it has to be that you have to be rung to let someone in, it can be that the environment is toy nosy. So guys, let's continue the conversation. And guys, we're up to 72 subscribers, so if we can like, share, subscribe, comment, it all helps me to be seen. I know that you guys hate me asking, but guys, it really does help the channel to be seen. And guys, I'm going to have to start pushing the Patreon a little more aggressively next year. So guys, I've always got that in the description. So there's outtakes, what's happening in my life, and if I mention people that I can't name over here, they're definitely named over on the Patreon. So guys, go on and check that one out. So guys, restrictive practices and positive behaviour support do go hand in hand. And as we wait for the National Cabinet on Wednesday, it's something that a lot of disabled advocates are pushing for the abolition of. But we need to keep some forms of restrictive practices to keep people safe from themselves and safe to others as well. And so, guys, it's a very complex debate because restrictive practices do have a very dark and damaging and traumatizing history for people with a disability. And I can understand where the advocates are coming from, but we need to keep some in some form. And guys, let's see how National Cabinet on Wednesday pans out as well. So guys, I will see you guys in the next video.